A satire is a piece of writing that makes fun of something. And why in the world would someone want to make fun of someone? Why in the world would I spend all this time writing something, making fun of something? Ultimately, to change them. If it's an event that was just ridiculous or a person that is acting ridiculous and you want them to change, people would write a satire. They would make fun of them in order for them to change. Two examples of it, and this is not the only examples, but two of them we're going to look at are a satirical essay. And a satirical essay is a short work written in prose, and prose means it's not poetry. So you could write a satire essay and talk all about people or events and how ridiculous it is and make fun of them. Also, you have a mock epic. So you already know what an epic is, and an epic being a poem that tells of heroes. It's a grand story focusing on grand events and uses grand language and talks about the heroic deeds of some person or God or something. But a mock epic, unlike a real epic, tells the story of ordinary events, plain, boring, ordinary events, but uses the same grand language, the same over-the-top examples that a regular epic would use. So it's sort of poking fun of an epic. Think about movies like Scary Movie and Date Movie, and they had an Epic Movie. All of those all the Scary Movie franchises. They are all satires because they are all making fun of scary movies or date movies or epic movies, and so they are doing it in this over-the-top style. Some techniques that a person writing a satire might use is exaggeration. They're going to make things over the top and big and crazy, or they're going to do the complete opposite and understate it, make things seem smaller when it really is much bigger. Also, they're going to use sarcasm. They're going to make sarcastic remarks. And lastly, they're going to use irony. And irony is when you think it's one thing, but it ends up being another. For example, if you have dramatic irony is when we as an audience know something's going to happen, or we as a reader know something's going to happen, but the character doesn't, so the character just keeps going on. And they're going to use all these techniques to write a satire. They're going to make things big or make things small and poke fun of it and use some irony and use some sarcasm, all of this to get their point across. And who are satires written about? Anybody, any event, anybody. And oftentimes, especially, historically, we didn't know who the satire was written about. We read them today and we may not know who the satire is written about. So they often wouldn't use the real names. They may use a name very similar to that name, or use a completely different name. They may try to hide it from whoever it is. But often they would put just enough details so that you knew who the person was or what the event that they're trying to make fun of is. And it'd make them wonder, are they talking about me? And then maybe they might start to change. And so as readers now reading old satires, we really have to look at the history of the time to figure out what in the world are they making fun of and who in the world are they making fun of. And that's sort of the mystery behind it and why it's important to look at the history of that particular time period so we can figure out who in the world are they making fun of.